cover the topic today of food shortages. Why won't we have enough food? I'm going to start with Tucker here because I like the beginning of his thing here. Okay, here's a quiz. How many presidents have warned of a food shortage? Well, there will be just one. Mr. Biden. Man, he's the first for everything. I mean, even in the Great Depression, did they not predict or announce before the problem of not enough food? Let's talk about some of the fires. Just a quick overview here in this article. The Maricopa County Food Bank, 50,000 pounds of food burned up. Taylor Farms, it's a processing plant. And then we got Smithfield Foods, Deli Star Meats, Hot Pockets, Tyson Poultry, Bonanza Meat, Mar Wright Steak, JBS Beef, McCrum Potatoes, Kellogg's. We had a explosion, North Carolina fertilizer plant, February 1st, 22. And of course, this is getting all blamed on Putin. If he would have just stayed out of Ukraine, that's why our gas is sky high. That's why we don't have enough food. WEF is made up of various prime ministers and presidents, and it seems they are creating a scenario where citizens force citizens to embrace global control to the point where we will be happy merely to survive but own nothing by 2030. Is it possible our own government is betraying us? Well, if you pay attention to the news within the past couple months, obviously it's likely you can see that our government don't care about us. Now, as for foreign investors buying up farmland, imagine this: inaccurately tracked by the government. Wow, another failure of government. I wouldn't expect that, you know. They are perfect. But there's this map down here, okay? This is in 2009. This is the amount of foreign-owned land in 2009. The cream colored is the best at less than 0.4%. And dark blue is greater than 2.4%. You can see how much land, farmland, is owned in 2009. Now we're going to jump to 2019. This is the last year this was reported on. And I guess they're admitting that it's not accurate anyways, but look how much dark blue. We have what? 1, 2, 3 states that are 4 states that are cream colored right now. 5, count Alaska. I don't think much grows in Alaska. Our farmland's being bought up by foreign investors. Let's go back to the fires. They're saying they're not set intentionally, which I don't believe. 11 of the fires were accidental, no foul play, 6 are under investigation, 1 was a vacant building. Okay, April 19th, Azure Standard Organic Food fire. April 13th. And this seems to be like a weekly thing. Taylor Farms processing facility in California fire. It was a welding accident, you know. April 12th. East Conway beef and pork butcher shops and slaughterhouse. March 24th. The McCrum potato processing plant. March 16th. Hot Pockets Nestle plant, Arkansas. February 22nd. Shears food potato chip plant. February 15th. Bonanza Meat Company. February 3rd. Wisconsin River Meats. January 6th, you got poultry processing plant in Hamilton. December 13th of 21, you had a food processing plant in Texas. November 19th of 21, steak company, Pennsylvania. December 12th was a JBS USA beef processing plant. 31st, let's see here, August 23rd was the Patak Meat Products in Georgia. July 31st, Tyson River plant. July 25th was Kellogg's. April 30th was Smithfield Foods pork processing plant. January 11th was the Deli Star meat plant. The thing that I find interesting about most of these fires, they are in meat plants, poultry plants. They say they were caused accidental. But the little rabbit hole I was going down was they know these food shortages are coming. Now, this is a deep rabbit hole, but could they possibly be burning these plants down for insurance because they know they're not going to have the food to process and they're trying to get out ahead? Because obviously, if you have nothing to process at a plant, you can't use it. You lose money. I just find it odd that all these plants are catching on fire. Now let's go on. Ukraine, where we get a lot of our wheat, sunflower, a lot of grains. Well, we know Mr. Biden. Well, this has changed since this article was wrote on May 5th. I know he's gave more, but $1 billion in assistance to Ukraine. And that was after Congress approved a $4 billion assistance to Ukraine. Why are we giving all this money to Ukraine? What I find interesting is, I guess there's this Bill Emerson Humanitarian Trust. It's a Federal Reserve. The government wants to take $260 million of that to buy U.S. grains and other commodities to send to foreign countries in crisis. Why are we sending food to foreign countries? Don't you think we're going to need it here in the United States? It just shows our government don't care. I'd rather you starve. I think that's all I wanted to cover in this article. Let's go over some quick food shortages. Any of you been to the grocery store? You've noticed a lot of empty shelves. A lot of stuff you can't get. A lot of stuff's limited. It's just some of the quick stuff. They say beef and poultry is going to be short. Hence, maybe that's why meat plants are catching on fire. You know, we have no meat. Why not get the insurance money and then, you know, at least come out ahead? Saying dairy is going to be short. Well, we all see that price of milk. I know around here is almost like $5 for a gallon of milk now. It's ridiculous. They're also saying milk, cheese, cream cheese, yogurt, egg shortages. Well, we all know what that's about. We'll cover that in a little bit. Your vegans, your plant-based proteins are going to be short of supply too. I'm sorry. I don't eat that stuff, but fruits and vegetables, canned goods. They said they're going to be in short supply. They're saying it's there's not enough aluminum or steel to make the cans, even canned pet food. Or they say it's going to be impacted. Bottled water and soda. Well, we all know the water. A lot of times you go into a store, water shelves are pretty empty. We all know this. Toilet paper, paper towels, the big old toilet paper shortage when everybody was afraid to be locked in their house without toilet paper. I personally would have bought food. I don't know what you gonna eat all this toilet paper, but hey, If it makes you feel better, you go buy as much poop paper as you want. Pasta noodles. I know pasta is really short supply. I've been to a few stores and shelves are empty. You don't have nothing really to choose from, pasta wise. It's very scarce. And they're saying liquor. Sorry, you drinkers. Well, booze, hard liquor. Well, I'm cans too. I guess beer comes in cans, aluminum cans. There's low supply of glass. So if you're a drinker, you might want to stock up. Now, like this, what are they blaming the empty shelves on in 2022? Okay, winter storms. Okay, there was a few. We don't have a winter storm, every day. And that good old climate change is causing long-term issues. Man, that damn climate change, I tell you. It's funny how it's all of a sudden just creeped up, this year, and all of a sudden nothing can grow because of climate change. It's just amazing. Cyber attacks slowed supply chains. We've heard about a lot of cyber attacks, not only on food, but many other things they're trying to attack. I mean, if we would ever have a cyber attack on an electrical grid, a lot of people would be in trouble. We all rely on lights. You flick that switch, the light comes on. You push that button, the microwave comes on. What happens if you can't do that? You lose everything in your fridge, you lose everything in your freezer. Stores don't have nothing cold because you don't have electricity. I know some's got backup generators, but they're only good for so long. Let's see here. Labor shortages at production plants. That could be true. Nobody wants to work. They've been all getting this, government money. Government's been paying you not to work. Sit at home. Don't do anything. Better yet, go out and protest something, It's just pointless. This is probably why we have a chicken shortage. We had H1N1, you guys all remember that, years ago. What was that? I think that was with Obama, I think it was. Well, now we have the H5N1. We've moved up in the world. So far, as of this article is April 6th, almost 23 million birds have been killed in the United States because they tested, maybe a few of them tested positive for this bird flu. So if a few tested positive, they use them, junk PCR tests that they gave everybody for, the C thing, and there's a lot of false positives and negatives, but hey, your chicken's sick. I want you to kill the other 300 of them because we don't know. Low risk to humans, bird flu. That might be the next pandemic coming. Oh no, we got the H5N1. We better all stay in the house. This is supposedly reported first in wild birds. They kill the chickens, and they basically bury them in mass graves. As you can see, here's a picture of. They just bury them. I see here, meat prices are going up. We know that on chicken. Okay, this is the outbreaks by state. Now you look down this list. You got turkeys, you got chickens. We got mixed species, non-poultry mixed species, commercial broiler chickens, chickens and turkeys, chickens and turkeys. Well, this keeps on going on. The plants ain't gonna have no meat to process. That would be a shame if they caught fire, you know. Oops. We'll get the insurance for that. We'll lay everybody off. We're not rebuilding. Looked up number of chickens in the United States. From 2000 to 2020, the number of chickens was 518 million. So that's in a 20-year period. I'm sure that goes up and down. That's probably the average. And they killed, what, almost 30 million of them so far? I looked up what we import from Ukraine. Cereals. So I guess that would be, I'm guessing, grains to make cereals. $9.4 billion. Animal, vegetable fats, and oils, 5.8 billion. What was some of the other stuff here? Minerals, fuels, oil, 7.4 billion. Pharmaceutical products, just like I said, nothing's made in the United States. $2.5 billion of medicine we buy. I looked up what we import from China a year. This is 2021. Okay, we got electrical, 135 billion. Machinery, nuclear reactors, boilers, 115 billion. You got plastics, iron and steel, aluminum, pharmaceutical products, $3.47 billion in 2021, and we all know that was probably kind of a low year because a lot of China was shut down, a lot of their plants. But this is what we import from China every year. It is just amazing. Like I said, if China wanted to screw us, all they would have to say is, we're not trading with you anymore. Where are we going to get all this stuff? You know, when nothing's made in America anymore. Hell, you can't even call customer support and get anybody in America anymore. I've called and heard freaking chickens in the background. You know, what kind of customer support has chickens in the background? But I guess if you're sitting at your farm, you know, outside, you need a job anyways. But it's just sad. Where was the quote about fertilizer? We all know fertilizer has gone up, and there's going to be a shortage. We get most of our fertilizer from Russia. They're expected to jump 15%. And I do believe they are higher than that. We import $10.3 billion worth of fertilizer for crops. 1.3 billion of that comes from Russia. So we're going to be, first of all, without that fertilizer. Second of all, diesel fuel, $5, $6, $7, a gallon. And then we get foreign companies buying our farmland in the United States. What are they going to be able to grow this year? I mean, you think the foreign companies care about growing us food? Most of these farmers ain't going to be able to afford to farm this year. So that was just overall coverage of a general food shortage. I'm telling you, it's coming. You probably would be smart now. If you haven't started stocking up, start stocking up. Because one of these days you're going to go to the store and you ain't able to buy what you need. And when people can't get the food they need, they resort to usually violent measures. Just like, I forgot to cover this, the baby formula shortage. That's really bad right now. If a parent can't feed their child, they're going to go out and do whatever they need to do to get food for their child if they're a good parent. Most loving parents will do anything to feed their child. So the best thing to do, stock up, be ready to protect yourself, because as food gets scarce, they're going to start coming from the cities, start coming into the country. We have less population. A lot of us are, I guess, preppers. Even though preppers is a bad thing now, I guess. Because we're hoarding all the food. But they're going to come get what they need. So it's best now, stock on what you can. Get what you can get. Get stuff for long-term storage. Don't worry about the short-term stuff. Don't worry about the milk. You don't need 20 gallons of milk. You ain't gonna be able to drink it all before it goes bad. Oats, rice, beans. And there's a lot of companies that sell food that has a 25-year shelf life, which is great if you can get that. If not, there's cheaper alternatives out there. You're not going to eat like a king when there's no food, but at least you're going to have food to keep you alive. Just something to think about, everybody. You better start planning now, because we obviously see our government don't care about us. They'd rather send millions and billions over to another country to feed the rest of the world. What about us? I'm going to leave that there. Till next time.